Hey everybody, Alec Shekhar here. This is the fifth video in the Gain Website SEO series, and I'm basically going to start where we left off. So where we left off was that we are going through Google's formula, and I'll just read it to you to start. Google rewards high-quality websites with compelling, relevant, and dynamic content that people stay to read or view, come back to over and over again, share on their social networks, and that other good sites refer to. So in the first 4 videos we covered what is Google all about, what do they consider quality websites, what do they consider websites that have compelling, relevant, and dynamic content, and then how do they determine whether people are staying to read or view the content, and how do they determine whether people are coming back to view the site over and over again. Now I'm going to cover the social signals. So social signals are based on Google determining whether people are sharing your content on their social networks. And I'm going to go through what social networks really make a difference and what parts of the social network you should concentrate on when trying to build up this aspect of your website. What you're going to want to concentrate on is 4 social networks. The other social networks have proportionately much lower footprint for Google than these 4 networks that I'm going to talk about. The Google networks I'm talking about where you should put the bulk of your efforts is number 1, Google Places for Business, Google+, Facebook, Pinterest, and Twitter. And I've listed these in the order of importance. Let me start with Google Places for Business. This is also known as Google+ Local. Google keeps changing the name of it, but I always call it Google Places for Business. That label makes more sense to me than anything else. Now, if you recall from the first video, this is the results that you get on the top of the Google search results when you search for certain keywords. Typically, those keywords have to do with services in your location. So in this case, I searched on Hair Salon, Dover, Delaware, and I got these results. Now you notice these are at the top of the results and these are websites near the bottom. What you see here are actually Google+ local results. If you don't have a Google+ local page, you will not show up in those results. So it's very important to set that up. And as you can see, since these results are at the top, more people are likely to click on these than the ones at the bottom. And Google has done this deliberately for 2 reasons, because they want to first promote their Google Places listing, which to them is like the equivalent of Facebook for businesses, and they believe this is more convenient for users because users get not only the name of the outfit but also the star rating, how customers have rated them, the address and phone number. It makes it very convenient for people to contact the particular type of merchant that they're looking for. Now, in order to qualify to have a Google Places listing, you have to have a physical address. So if you are providing a service in your one-man operation from home, you will have to provide your home address. Google will verify this by sending you a postcard at the address that you indicate, and they will not accept P.O. boxes. So you've got to have an actual physical address in order to be eligible to have a Google Places listing. Now, this Google Places listing is not going to apply to everybody. For example, if you have a website, it's all online and you're targeting the entire country, not just a particular location like Dover, Delaware, or Connecticut, or California, or what have you. You're not located in any physical place, it's just an e-commerce website. Then Google Places is not going to really be important for you or apply to you even. But for any kind of service that caters to a certain geographic area, Google Places is a must. Now let's look at Google+. Google designed it actually to replace Facebook, but it just hasn't taken off very much. Yet Google still gives it a high importance in their search results because they want to promote the heck out of it. They still believe that Google+, even though people in the US are not using it very much, Google is still giving it a lot of importance, and it is important for Google's search engine results. Facebook is the next social network that is also highly important. Now, one thing about Facebook is you can set up a Facebook page very quickly, but what really counts and what Google looks at is the number of shares, the number of comments, and the number of likes. In that order. Google's able to tell how many shares you have. The more shares you have, the better. And then Google also looks for comments and then likes. So a lot of people put their effort in getting as many Facebook likes as possible. And although that makes a difference, you want to try to put content in there so you get a lot of shares. Compelling content will get other people in your network to share what you've put up and also put comments on. So these are going to count a lot more towards your Google search results than likes But likes yet is still important. It's number 3. So you want to try to get all 3, but put your effort in getting shares and comments. And really the only way to do that is to have really great headlines and content that you place on your Facebook wall. The next one that Google places emphasis on Pinterest, and this may surprise some people because I placed it higher than Twitter. And a lot of people don't even have Pinterest accounts, but believe it or not, Pinterest right now is more important to Google, or at least in terms of search engine results, gets you better results than Twitter. So create a Pinterest account. Pinterest, you can put up various pins in there. Just put up as many pins as you can and try to build up as many followers as you can. Any kind of graphics that you have on your website, there's no reason you can't put it on Pinterest as a pin. And if you're used to taking a lot of photographs on your camera, put them up. Google can't really read the photograph. They don't know the content of your photograph. Same thing with Facebook. They don't know the content that you're actually placing in Facebook, but they do know the number of shares and comments and likes. So that's all they're going to look at. They don't really care what the content contains. Same thing with Pinterest. They can't really read the images. They don't know the content of those images. So you want to just put up whatever you can and label them in a way that people are going to start following you. Twitter is the next social network that I'd really like to emphasize. And with Twitter, the main thing that Google looks at is the number of tweets that you're putting out there. If you are going to use Twitter, try to put out as many tweets as possible. If you don't want to do that yourself, you can buy software that you install on your site, and every time you put up a new blog or a new post, it will automatically send a tweet out for you. So that kind of software can be very helpful. They also look at the number of followers that you have on Twitter. Obviously, the more tweets you send out that is relevant to your audience, the more followers you're going to have. Try to do that as much as you can. Now I'm going to go back to the slide that I showed at the very beginning in the first video, and these are the various factors that Google is looking at. And as you can see, it used to be just 3 years ago that this circle would have been very, very small. But now social signals has become about as important as the number of backlinks that you have. The quality of your site is important, the content of your site is important, but not quite as much as the number of backlinks and the quality of the backlinks and the social signals. I believe this ellipse is going to get bigger and bigger over time because Google is going to emphasize this even more and more in how they rank your website. So the things that I've just talked about as far as social signals are concerned, you should really put your emphasis on. And I'm going to show you in a lot more detail how to specifically build all those various networks so that you can take your site to the next level and rank high on Google. So for now, thank you for watching. All the best to you, and I'll talk to you soon.